Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will study chapter number 2, Vectors and Equilibrium, conceptual question answer which are included in the reduced syllabus for examination of 2021 and onwards. So let's start our video. The question number 1 is not included in the reduced syllabus 2021. Its statement is it possible to add three vectors of equal quantity but different direction to get a nil vector? Draw it with the diagram. So diagram you can see here. This is the first vector A and the second vector B and the third vector C. Answer is yes. Consider a three vectors of equal magnitude presented in such a way that they represent sides of equivalent triangle in accordance with head to tail rule as shown in the figure. According to the head to tail rule, the resultant of a vector is obtained by joining tail of first vector with the head of last vector. Since in our case both heads and tails coincides with each other, therefore the resultant is 0. Resultant is equal to A vector plus B vector plus C vector is equal to 0 or null. So this is the answer of question number 1. Now moving towards the question number 2. Question number 2 is also not included in the reduced syllabus 2021. The question statement is the magnitude of three vectors are 2 meter, 3 meter and 5 meter respectively. The directions are at your disposal. Can these three vectors be added to the yield 0 resultant? Illustrate with a diagram. Answer is given three vectors to be added to the yield 0 resultant if 3 meter and 2 meter are acting in the same direction but opposite to 5 meter. This is explained below. Let A is equal to minus 2I and B is equal to minus 3 meter I and C is equal to positive. Resultant is equal to A plus B plus C, which is equal to minus 2 minus 3 and plus 5. Minus 2 minus 3 is equal to minus 5 plus 5. These both are cancelled and we get resultant is equal to 0. From the diagram you can also see that the positive 5 is moving in the opposite direction with the minus 2 and the minus 3. Now moving towards the next question number 3 is also not included in the reduced syllabus 2021. What units are associated with a unit vector I, J and K? This is the question. The unit I, J and K are the base units used to represent a direction along with X, Y and Z axis respectively. Since therefore no units are assigned to the unit vector I, J and K. Now moving towards the question number 4. Question number 4 to 10 are included in the reduced syllabus for examination of 2021 and question 4 is included in the reduced syllabus. Can a scalar product of two vectors be negative? Provide a proof and give an example. So the answer is yes. The scalar product of two vectors is defined as A dot B is equal to AB cos theta, and the theta is between 0 and 180 degree. For all the angles theta such that this value that the dot product is negative, prove let theta is equal to 120 degree, then A dot B is equal to A dot B cos 120 is get the dot product minus 1 by 2 AB. Work done by a friction in moving object is always negative. In all cases, friction act at 180 degree to direction of the motion of a object. Work done is equal to F dot D or F dot S, same, cos theta. The force is in opposite direction with the displacement, so making angle 180 degree. So cos is 180 degree and cos 180 degree is -1. So putting negative sign here would be -1. So work done is equal to minus FD. Now moving towards the next question. Question number 5 is also included in the reduced syllabus. Vector A and B are two non-zero vectors. How can their scalar product be 0 and how can their vector product be 0? So the answer for the first part is scalar product can be 0. The scalar product of two vectors is defined as A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. If scalar product of A and B is 0, they act perpendicular to each other. Means they are making 90-degree angle like this. One object is moving here and one object is moving upward direction. So A dot B is equal to AB cos theta and A dot B is equal to AB cos 90 degree and cos 90 is 0. So A dot B is equal to AB multiplied by 0 and the dot product is equal to 0. In this way A dot B is equal to 0. One object is moving in upward direction, means the A vector is moving in upward direction and the B object is moving in the horizontal direction and the here angle is 90 degree. Now the vector product can be 0. The magnitude of vector product of two vector is equal to A cross B is equal to, here modulus is applied because we are using magnitude, is equal to AB sin theta and here is n unit vector but it shows a direction, so it is up to you to write this or not. The magnitude of vector A and B is 0 if they act as parallel to each other, means making 0 degree, means one vector is moving in this direction and another is moving with this direction. So this is A vector and this is B vector. Magnitude of A cross B is equal to AB sin theta and the theta here is 0. Sin 0 is equal to 0. So A cross B is equal to AB multiplied by 0 and the whole is equal to 0. The cross product is equal to 0. Now moving towards the next question. Question number 6 is also included. Suppose you are given with a known non-zero vector A. The scalar product of A with an unknown vector B is 0. Likewise, the vector product A with B is 0. What can you conclude about B? So the answer is given that A is not equal to 0 and the dot product is 0 and the cross product is 0. The dot and the cross product of vector A and B both are 0 is possible for an triangle if and only if B is a null vector or B is equal to 0. The magnitude or B simple is equal to 0. A dot B is equal to A B cos theta and here B is equal to 0, so this whole equation will become 0. And for the cross product A cross B is equal to AB sin theta and where B is equal to 0, so this whole equation become 0. So the cross product and the dot product is equal to 0 if only if when B is equal to 0 or null. Now moving towards the next question. Question number 7 is also included in the reduced syllabus 2021. Why a particle experiencing only one force cannot be in equilibrium? Answer is for a body to be in complete equilibrium, the sum of all the forces acting together on a body must be equal to 0. Means both first condition and the second condition must be satisfied. Hence, summation of all the forces acting together is equal to 0. This is first condition of equilibrium which is satisfied. And the second condition is sum of all the torque acting together is equal to 0. Second condition is also satisfied. If there is only one force acting on a body, then first condition and the second condition is not applied. So the body will not be in equilibrium. Now moving towards the question number 8. Question number 8 is also included. To open a door that has the handle on the right and the left, a torque must be applied. Is the torque clockwise or anti-clockwise or counter? When viewed from the above, does your answer depends upon whether the door opens towards you or away from you? So the answer is the torque produced in a door depends whether the door opens towards or away from you. If the door opens towards you, the door is a clockwise as shown in the figure A, and if the door opens away from you, then the torque is the anti-clockwise or a counter-clockwise as shown in the figure B. From figure A you can see this is the handle here and this is the wall, and when you open the door it moves in this direction and this direction is moving like this and like this. So this is clockwise direction, and when this is opening towards you. In the second figure this is the handle and the door is opening away from you like this. You open away from you. So it is anti-clockwise or counter torque. Now moving towards the next question. Question number 9 is also included. Explain the warning, never use a large wrench to tighten a small bolt. Answer is a wrench is a tool to apply small specific torque to fasten the nut. The magnitude of a torque produced by a wrench is given by torque is equal to force multiplied by position vector R into sine theta by this formula. Then since the magnitude of a torque depends on the movement arm, hence the large wrench has a large movement arm causes large amount of torque. This large amount of torque can slip the nut and hence the nut can never be fastened. Torque is directly proportional to the movement arm. Large wrench have large movement arm. Large wrench has large movement arm due to which it has large torque, and the large torque can slip the nut and the nut can never be tightened or fastened up. Now moving towards the last question. The last question is question number 10. A central force is one that is always directed towards the center. The same point, can the central force give rise to the torque about that point? Answer is a central force always act as a line drawing to the center of two bodies. For example, consider a gravitational force which is directed radically through the center of a mass of a earth and center of a mass of a satellite. Therefore moment of arm is 0. Hence gravitational force cannot exert any torque or no torque. Mathematically the torque is the cross product of force and the moment arm, and here we put G in the subscript. Sine theta, here R is equal to 0, so the whole equation becomes 0. So the torque is 0 because moment of arm is equal to 0. So this is the exercise conceptual question of chapter number 2, vectors and equilibrium. I hope you all like this video. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.